Welcome to first official Loading Snacks Google Hangout. We saw the need to get together this afternoon briefly because um, today we saw the announcement, the official announcement across the PlayStation blog that Uncharted 4 has been delayed to 2016.
Yep.
First and foremost, gentlemen, what do you think of this?
I didn't expect it to come out this year anyway, so not necessarily surprised.
Right?
But apparently they're very surprised. That's why they made an announcement about it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. At this point with games, and I don't want to point out just PlayStation in general, but I mean, it seems that way nowadays. But it didn't seem like a game that would come out this year.
What makes you think? Why did you feel like it was a game that wasn't going to come out this year? Let's just be straight up about it. They announced it as a game coming this year. They said it was coming 2015. Like when they just talked about it and showed like the first demo of it. They showed it at PSX.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like recently the most anticipated games, like Arkham Knight, that was supposed to come out in October, my birthday, and I was really upset when it didn't come out. And now we had to wait till June. I mean,
Right.
it's the same thing,
yeah.
Um.
I just didn't have faith that it was coming. I had no faith whatsoever that it was coming out this year whatsoever. Like we've hardly seen, besides like you said, the last demo they showed, we've hardly seen anything of it since then, or any type of news, or just anything. So just with that all there, just I had no faith
Yeah. I
it was
mean, we got that brief trailer. We got the trailer at like
just
E3,
coming out, right?
and then we got the playable demo they did. When my man actually fell. It was real live though because he fell through the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, and this is why this is why it's significant to me because part of the issue that Sony has been struggling with their first party games, not just in terms of them coming out and working right, but having them in the first place. Sony and Microsoft both went through issues last holiday with the release of Master Chief Collection and its online issues, and then of course with Drive Club,
And
and
Drive Club, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and its online issues.
Yeah.
But this was the game. This is the one everybody's been waiting for. Now, I will say this: what Sony does still have right now is Bloodborne. But Bloodborne comes out in
Right.
like 2 weeks. That's it. It comes out like 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
So it's like the 24th. So
Mm.
after this particular AAA title releases for Sony, what else do they have? What else do they have slated for this year? The only thing they really had slated for this year that was technically an exclusive, at least, that was an exclusive, was Uncharted 4. I mean,
Yeah.
they just recently announced that once again, they're doing a remaster of the HD versions of Final Fantasy X and X2,
Right.
and that's
That is,
exclusive,
yeah.
to Sony.
Uh,
Um,
only other schools I can think of AAA titles that they got this, well, supposedly this year coming out. Of course, anything can change, as we just learned. Is Street Fighter Five
right.
and
That's
No
probably the
Man's Sky.
biggest thing.
That's it.
And what is it?
No Man's Sky. Like that's it.
Yeah, No Man's Sky I don't consider a AAA exclusive. I mean, it's an indie, you know, game. It could be big. I don't have a whole lot of faith in that game though. It's got a lot of potential, but I don't have a lot of faith in that game in particular. Like a lot of people are excited about it and what it could be, but until it comes out and it hits and people actually have the opportunity to play it and really see what it's about, it's almost vaporware. So I'm not really looking at that right now. So Street Fighter Five, I would say would be the big thing. But my concern is holiday. To
Hmm.
me, this puts Sony in a bad position going into the holiday because we know Microsoft has Halo 5. They got Forza 6. They got Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Tomb Raider 2. They got all those joints slated to come out fall and holiday, and you know they're going to do bundles, pack-ins, tie-ins, tie-ups, whatever they do. I doubt we'll see another price drop. I do almost expect to see some kind of super tie-in or a price drop from Sony, because if they're not really careful, if they don't make some major announcement at E3 and have something that's baking,
that's what I was about to say. Like E3, they gotta come with it for this holiday season.
Yeah.
After losing that, and honestly, like we said, like 3, maybe 4 big AAA titles this year. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like their indie thing, big. I give them that. Great stuff, but we're looking for AAA right now. We're looking for those big $60, you know what I'm saying, games right now. That's just, as much as I tried to find them before we started doing that, they just not there.
They're not there.
I was trying to get the benefit of the doubt, and I was looking them up, and it's just they're not there. This
is my concern, and this is why. Look, this is not to slight. I'm not trying to slight smaller games, right? All small games aren't necessarily indie. Some of them are, you know, like Child of Light is not an indie game technically, right? I mean, it's Ubisoft, so it's a smaller game. So this isn't to slight that or the fact that they have the number of exclusives or the stuff that's there, be it timed or whatever, at all. But let's be honest about it. What sells systems are AAA exclusive, or at least AAA titles. Not necessarily exclusive, but at least titles. AAA titles.
This is pretty much the same thing that happened at the launch of PlayStation 4 too. Like you had really nothing exclusive for the PlayStation 4 the day it came out.
Right.
You know.
Right. So, in my opinion, the strength of the PlayStation sales.
Killzone that was there when it came out. I think that was the only thing that might have been there day one. Might have been there day one.
What game?
Was Killzone the only one that was there on day one for PlayStation? If it was something,
there was Resogun. Resogun technically is an indie joint too, though. I mean, it's not something that, like, that's not the kind of game that made people like, oh, PlayStation 4 is coming out. Let me go grab it.
It's not what to push the hardware to what we want to see.
Right.
I think the first thing that came out for it exclusively was Second Son.
Infamous, right? That was really, I think,
that was like 3 months after.
Right. That was the big thing that came later. Now, here's the thing. I think Sony's done obviously Sony's done really, really well in terms of moving hardware. Like, they couldn't even explain why they were moving as much hardware as they were, right? But I think a lot of that came out of the fact that a lot of people were Sony people up front. They switched it to 360 last generation, and they were eager and ready to go back to PlayStation. But at this point, personally, Sony has not delivered for those people. That's not to say there's not plenty to play, because there is plenty to play. But the majority of what there is to play that would make, to me, a person buy a system has parity across both systems. Then you throw in the price drop that Microsoft has, some of the ground that they gained over last holiday, and if Sony doesn't pull out something major, and I am fearful of their ability to announce something at E3 and deliver it this holiday. You see what I'm saying? Because the other thing is, you still also there's a good chance we might see something like Crackdown this holiday. They announced it last year at E3. We saw a trailer for it. You got E3 coming.
Right.
They could very easily show it. It could be playable at E3, and it could definitely come out before the end of this year. Could definitely be another holiday title for them. And we could see Gears. Now, it's not likely, but we could see Gears this year. Huh? We ain't getting no
this year. Nah.
But you're right. No, you're right. I mean, look, we're not going to see Gears. I will say that only because we know we're getting Halo. If this was not a Halo year, like, they're not going to put Gears and Halo against each other in the same holiday.
No.
Right.
No.
But they will throw Forza. You already know Forza's coming.
Yeah.
So it's an every other year thing now, right? You get Forza and then you get Forza Horizon.
Right.
I'm
waiting for Horizon 3.
But look. What if E3 hits, right? And like day 2, right? So after after who just announced they doing a thing they don't never do. Bethesda is doing an E3 thing on like Sunday this year.
Ooh, okay.
That they've never done their own conference before.
That tells me if Bethesda doing so, we might get a Fallout announcement or
Exactly.
something.
Well, that's what the speculation is, that we're talking possibly Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Right. So they announced that they're doing a conference on Sunday, technically the day before E3 launches, because normally those conferences hit Monday. It's usually Microsoft or then Sony, and Nintendo does a Treehouse thing like the following day.
But even last year, there was a lot of things that PS4 showed that I'm pretty sure they're going to show a lot more for this year. You know, it was a lot of teasers last year, so they just might hit us with full-blown gameplay and things like that.
Yeah, but like what?
I can't even remember the name of the games, but
I know why you can't name a game, because them joints don't exist right now. Like, if you look, what we know that Sony has a lot of studios that have been really quiet in terms of what they're working on, what they're doing. So it's just a matter of what and when. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we're ready to see a Last of Us 2, right? Because that's clearly Naughty Dog. They're kind of busy.
Yeah, that's... No, we're saying, I know that's not coming out until after 4's been out and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So we know Infamous is a major franchise for them. We know that there was no
original Last Guardian, but once again,
that was what I was getting ready to say was, if these dudes pull out Last Guardian like Monday afternoon and they're like, oh, by the way,
before we leave,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? That one last, oh, by the way. Oh, man, that would be...
That would absolutely kill it for them.
That'd be a wrap.
Announce, they'd be like, yeah, y'all be playing it this holiday. Like,
no, listen. The only thing that might beat that would be if they or anybody came out and was like, oh, by the way, Shenmue Remastered with Shenmue 3 coming out this holiday. And I'd be like, done.
Yeah. That might be the only thing that can compete with
that.
You know,
might do it. Or, honestly, if Valve was to be like, oh, by the way, Half-Life 3, here you go. You can have it.
If Sony still had Kingdom Hearts to themselves, maybe.
Right, but
I did hear a rumor though that Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, that's what
this year. Supposedly that was leaked from the person who does Goofy's voice.
Right, but the thing about it is, it's not exclusive to them anymore.
Right.
So that's my concern, is that look, the Order, let's just say it was a bit of a fiasco. Like, it reviewed okay, but it was supposed to be that new big IP that was going to pull people in, right? So we're going to go out on a limb and say that joint pulled a Rise. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rise, I liked Rise. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Looks good.
It was a 6-7. It was a good game. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? We had fun, right? I mean, we chopped some people up, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So,
or Sony just might take the Nintendo route and just go back to all their classic characters and bring something out like, you know, maybe Crash Bandicoot all over again.
Yeah, here's the thing. Let me ask you, if Sony announced a Crash Bandicoot game and you didn't have a PlayStation 4, will that make you buy a PlayStation 4?
No.
You buy a PlayStation 4 for a Crash Bandicoot game?
I'll be like, oh, let me go to my cousin's house. But I'm not about to go buy one.
You know what I'm saying? What you would be like is, I'll wait. Maybe I'll do PlayStation
franchise.
Crash don't get my money. Other characters could, but not Crash.
Even my favorite franchise, God of War, I mean, that's a little worn out now. Even if they came out with another one, I would be like, nah, there's like 5 of them now, you know? So,
I mean, look, they could do a Sly Cooper, right?
Maybe. I can bring Sly back, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. What studio does Sly?
So correct? Ain't it the same people that does Uncharted?
Right.
Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
They bring back Spyro, you know?
No, they can't bring back Spyro.
That's what need to bring back.
Spyro is busy right now. He can't come back in a game on his own. He exists now. So why would they give Spyro another solo game? Activision is doing so well with what they're doing with those games that it doesn't even make sense. to bring him back in a separate game. I don't see that happening. And that's as an Activision property, technically, which is I guess where that is now. With all the Skylanders stuff. I mean, that's what Spyro is. Spyro's Skylanders. Y'all do realize that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why would you even touch that?
Skylander money right now. They don't need any help whatsoever.
Yeah, and I don't see them doing that as an exclusive thing. So, I mean, what other franchises?
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Now,
They
bring back and it could be dope if they do it right.
If what?
Siphon filter.
Yeah, well, there's been some rumors that a siphon filter is probably coming. Here's what I hope. If they're doing a siphon filter, it needs to be PS4 because I got the sinking feeling that joint's going to be a Vita game. And that would break my heart.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Well, I know y'all probably were into it, but just like they did with the PSP Vita, they put all my Jackson Dasters on that after the last one.
Right.
That's one of my favorite platform games. I just love the game is dope. So, bring him back.
Well, you know what? SOCOM.
You know what? Did the last one like do terrible?
I don't think so. I mean,
I have a feeling the last one had like I think it may not have done terrible. I think it might have been the online issues that was so bad, like it was almost unplayable.
I mean,
I gotta look it up, but yes, a SOCOM could be a bomb franchise for them if they just go in and hit the ground hard and just do it right. Yeah.
Right now, the question is,
that can actually be up there with the battlefields and the all that kind of stuff.
It could, but that's the thing. Like that area is so littered with. Plus, you got Rainbow Six this year.
Wait,
Rainbow Six Siege.
You know, if you do it right, you could bring back Midnight Club.
Yeah, but that was exclusive.
Yeah, but
that wasn't what it was.
That's Rockstar. That's on everybody. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
That's Rockstar. The last Midnight Club wasn't exclusive.
Yeah.
The Midnight Club LA, that joint was on 360.
Oh,
that's what I had it on.
Straight up. Yeah. I don't know, fellas. Last Guardian, I think, is a good shot. That drops because they keep saying they're still working on it. It's still in production.
They do.
Last Guardian,
whatever their so-called 3-year plan is, I hope they really kick in the front doors at E3 and got something for everybody as far as the AAA section is considered.
Yeah, I mean, if they show up to E3 again with trailers that are a bunch of trailers of a bunch of indie games that, look, I'm not saying they're not good. Folks like us who pay attention to websites and all that, that's like we might get excited over it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, plunk down some change for it. But at the end of the day, when you start talking mainstream, I'm talking about like the people who bought Rock Band, who didn't own any other games but Rock Band, and all they did was play Rock Band. Yay, Rock Band 4 is coming back.
Like that. Only two he bought systems for 2 games: Grand Theft, Rock Band. That is all.
That's it.
System just for those 2 games.
Well, that's
every single Rock Band has ever put out, all DLC.
Right. Well, look, that's cool though because he can do that on any system. So that might move for him. But again, where's the exclusive title to grab the person who's like, I want to have this? Because if you're just Joe Schmo video game, for that matter, if you're, I don't know, the dare I say, the kid who's getting their first game system and it's going to be a PS4, or it's going to be an Xbox One, or it's going to be a Wii U.
Right. Wii U.
What is it that pulls you in, makes it so that you decide you want to do this? Exclusives, they matter to an extent.
And what your friends have. Those 2 things don't matter.
Right. So right now, Sony holds a pretty good lead in terms of, well, I'm going to get what my friends have, right? But Microsoft has a really strong lead in terms of, well, all my friends had a 360 last time. And when you see something like Rock Band 4 come out, and it's, well, yeah, all the DLC I bought, I can only transfer over if I stay with the same system. If I stay Microsoft. Guess what you got to do? You ain't spent thousands of dollars messing with all that DLC or whatever for Rock Band. So even if you did make the plunge to a PS4, chances are, especially if you got it last Christmas or whatever this year, you go ahead and get you a Xbox One because you already have a PS4 and you want to play a Rock Band.
Yeah, I see that dilemma in a lot of people too. Even my little brother, he got a PlayStation 4 for Christmas, mainly because his friends won PS4.
Right.
But then he sees exclusive games for Xbox. He's a big Halo fan,
Right.
you know, and he's never played Dead Rising. He wants to, so it's like it's a complicated situation to most people. I mean, some people could just go out and just buy both, but everyone can't do that. So
right. Well, I mean, look, again, the holidays are coming, right? And so as the holidays come, then it becomes, okay, well, maybe this is the time I grab, A, B, and C, or I got this last year, I'll get this one this year because there's all this other stuff. So again, what I'm saying is, if Sony doesn't come to play at E3 with something major for the holiday, in my opinion, they are definitely going to lose the grip on the lead that they have in terms of number of consoles in a home. Once that happens, a lot of the deals and things they've been able to work out, or whatever, where Xbox 360 had a great lead last time because they just had such a basis. You know what I'm saying? There were just so many of them out there that if you wanted to sell games, you have a choice. You needed to put it on both systems. Sony lost a lot of exclusives last generation. Like, the last Tekken game was supposed to be exclusive to them, and then ended up not being. Like, there were a lot of exclusives that ended up shipping for both because they were just like, we can't do it. We can't. We gotta make some money. So, and digital makes a difference now too. But
yeah,
again, I'm thinking SOCOM, Last Guardian.
Yep.
That's, I don't know. A Jack and Daxter wouldn't move me. I can see they would move you.
Yes, it would.
Crash Bandicoot wouldn't move me at all. I don't know. I'm kind of past platformers that are like that. But you know what? Maybe if they did a cool like 2D one, I might be with it.
A 2D what?
Like a 2D platformer. I don't mind 2D platformers. 3D platformers, nobody's ever come close to doing what either Conker, the first Banjo, or Mario 64 did. In terms of a 3D platformer, nobody came close to that. So I just didn't enjoy anything after that. Too much other stuff going on. But I still enjoy, like, the Rayman Legends is bananas. So I'll run with that all day.
One day, the free now. Well, I had the free one. One day I'll sit down and actually play it.
Yeah. I grabbed it. I mean, I didn't buy it. It was free or whatever. I grabbed it.
For live members.
Yeah. So I've been running it. And it's, I mean, they said it was good. I just like, Rayman platformer. I'm not really with it, but
I just gotta be in the mood to play a 2D platformer right now.
I dig it. Time to shoot things and heist things.
Yeah.
We should probably get that. So, ladies and gentlemen, by all means, chime in. Let us know what you think. What do you want to see from Sony? What exclusives are you looking for? What are your hopes? Do you think this really matters at all? Do exclusives really matter, especially when a lot of times they're timed? I mean, something like Uncharted, which is not a time thing, right? That joint's not jumping ship. So what does that mean? Look, if they could mess around and be like, oh, Mass Effect 4, it's only coming to PlayStation now. I doubt it, but it could happen. That might.
Good Lord.
See?
Nah.
See?
Well, if it does happen, I'm good, but damn.
I mean, just think about it. Think about what happened with Tomb Raider last year, right?
Yeah.
Tomb Raider 2, people were up and on. Oh, no, you can't do that. But, I mean, what's done is done. So, I would bet you that, considering that they've had to make that announcement, that Sony is scrambling to make something happen along those lines. Some kind of exclusive that comes from someone else. Now, it might be timed, but I'd be willing to bet that they're working on that, like, right now.
Okay.
Dig?
Yeah.
All right.
I said they're gonna have to do something in the AAA section to prep themselves for these holidays. Like you said, whether it's a price drop or they got something hidden in the bag to pull out and throw into the snow in November and December or something like that. They gotta have something ready.
Throw me a bone, man. 2 extra controllers with the system at Christmas time. Make it happen, Cap.
Something like that. Yeah.
Cool. What you think, man? Last words?
Sorry, say it again.
I said, any last words? What you think?
Not really. Hey, let's just hope they bring it, because they got nothing right now, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, fellas. Till next
All
time.
right.
Get at y'all.
Out.
Love you, snacks. We are out.
That'd be us.